Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Unexplained and Unsolved Podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be reading another story from the r/nosleep subreddit. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. I work in security at Disney World, the happiest place on earth. Typically, I wouldn't say where I work, as obviously there are some pretty strict rules about things employees can put online, but I just don't think I can tell this properly without that context. And honestly, I think this may be it for me anyways. With this job, I just can't see myself working here any longer now. I've been with the company for 23 years. The first 20 years I worked in the parks, nabbing shoplifters and rounding up people who were drinking too much for the heat. Occasionally there'd be a fight to break up, but people usually kept it pretty mild. The heat and walking was getting too much for me the last few years, so I asked to be transferred somewhere with AC, and the company moved me to one of the resorts. While the working conditions were 110% better as far as climate and comfort go, the guest issues were trickier, mainly domestics. I guess the expensive and stress of vacation got to a lot of people, and I'd be called by neighboring rooms because some mom and dad were yelling at each other. I tried to suggest that they go take a nap or go do separate activities for a bit, and that would usually calm them down. But none of this is what I'm here for. I've got to get this out while I have time. 3 days ago, I got a call from management. Apparently a couple days before that, housekeeping had went into a room that should have been turned over that day. Turned over is when one guest leaves by about 11 a.m. and the next guest checks in around 3 p.m. And all the guest items were still in the room. Housekeeping made me take a note of it and move on, but during the next 2 days when they entered the room, everything was still there and untouched. I went to check it out, and sure enough, there was an empty room full of luggage, clothes, snacks, and some toys. Everything a family would need for vacation. The manager had already looked up the previous reservation, and it was for a family. Dad, mom, 2 little kids. I tried to call the phone numbers and they had given, but all I got was a voicemail. We were a bit stumped, so I made the call that the housekeeper should clean up the room and take the family's personal items to be held until we got into contact with someone. I went digging into the reservation more. The family had arrived 5 days before housekeeping discovered all their stuff. I found that the family had paid a parking fee and their vehicle description was listed. A quick walk of the parking lots and I had easily located their vehicle, so that ruled out a car accident or them deciding to just leave their stuff behind. Next, I saw that they had bought a dining plan. This is when a guest prepays for all their food. They're given a certain amount of credits to use for meals. This family had only used 3 credits and the last one was 2 days after they checked in. It appeared that the day they arrived, they got here late and probably just stayed down the resort. The next day, they used 2 credits at Epcot. The second park day, they used just 1 credit at Magic Kingdom, and it was for breakfast time. Now at Disney, we had something called Magic Bands. Magic Bands are worn by guests and act as a room key, park key, and a credit card. And it also works for dining reservation payment, Fast Pass, a system used to bypass lines, and more. It took some work, but I finally was able to look up the family's Fast Pass history. The day they went to Magic Kingdom, they had breakfast at a restaurant in the park, rode a couple of rides, and rode their last ride. It's a small world around 11 a.m., then nothing. Finally, it was time to bring in someone else on this. I called an old co-worker at Magic Kingdom and asked him to pull security footage for It's a Small World at the time they wrote it, and I made my way over there. When I got there, my friend was very confused, almost distraught looking. He showed me what he found. There's usually a camera in the direction of where rides load and unload. The footage showed them scanning their bands to use fast passes for the ride and boarding the ride. The footage from the exit of the ride just showed the other people in the car exiting. They weren't there. Of course, we thought the worst. Maybe one of the kids had fallen out and mom and dad and the other kid got off in the middle of the ride to help and they all got injured or killed or stuck in the machinery or somewhere. So we shut down the ride, middle of the damn day, turned off the earworm music and turned up the lights. Me and my buddy walked that ride 3 times before we called in help. Eventually there was close to 10 cast members searching and we didn't find shit except for 3 cell phones and a hat. I was right. I've kept digging the past couple of days and I'm not sure who to tell what I found next to. I've called the police and I suppose they're on their way, but the company has a way of covering up things like this and I decided I can't live with myself if I don't put out some type of warning. I kept digging into the reservation over the last couple of days and today I noticed that they had purchased a memory maker. There are photographers all over the parks and cameras in lots of the rides. With Memory Maker, the photos are all free. They automatically get added to a guest Disney account when the system knows their picture has been taken, and the system always knows. Everyone's whereabouts are always known by the magic bands. Well, I opened up their Memory Maker photo album, and I swear there's 732 pictures. The first 30 or so are pretty normal. Epcot, a few rides in front of the castle, but the rest are all in It's a Small World. The rides only take one picture per go-around, so it appears as though the family has ridden this ride over 700 times. The first picture was pretty normal, everyone looked happy. It was a busy day and a full car of guests. The next one is a rough one to look at. The car is empty except for this little family, and they look so darn confused. The next 10 to 15 I can see Dad getting angry, yelling. Mom is holding onto one of the two kids like her life depends on it, and you can see the kids getting increasingly upset, crying, and it goes on and on and on. After 50 or so, it looks like they're trying to get out, and the one the dad is missing. In another, they're all gone. Maybe like they've bailed early in the ride and tried to walk out, but in the very next one, they're all right back in that damn car. After around 4:50 or so, I only see the mom and the kids. It's just when they look closely I can see Dad, maybe just his body now, slumped down in one of the other seats. Since about 675, there's just Mom and one kid, another body in another seat. The mom and the kid aren't moving anymore. I think them two are still alive, just damn near catatonic, looking straight ahead, pale. And I swear on my fucking life the dolls are moving or something. In some of these pictures I can tell they aren't where they should be. I even saw one of the dolls in the car with the family. I can't look anymore or I'm going to lose my lunch. I closed the album. Its file size has increased since it's closed. God, are there new pictures being added? I see on the security cameras that the local PD just arrived and they'll take over soon. I wish I knew what the fuck is going on, but I wish this damn thing never landed in my lap. I don't think I'll be back to update this. After I talk to the police, I think I'm gonna go walk out and never come back. I just wanted to get this out of there before Disney feeds the media to some bullshit cover-up as to why the whole family vanished. They didn't vanish. I know where they are. So let me know down below what you guys thought about the story. This is a bit of an older story from about 4 years ago. If you want to find the story, it's posted by u/Disney Security. And I'll put the link to the page down below. It looks like it was a pretty popular story with 18.4k upvotes and about 593 comments. So like I said, let me know down below what you thought about this story, and also let me know if you want to hear more stories. I really do enjoy reading these. A lot of these are good, some better than others, but I just like to find stuff that may be interesting to me and to you guys. So I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good night.